forward to that music. And we'll carry on with the schedule with the question that I'm very hopeful in, besides the fodder leaves, is that apple yield, blackthorn yield is not something nice only that we use for our home use, but that can help to add value, planetary health diet. What do we have to eat to keep the world healthy from regional foods? And we'll hear this from somebody who has learned all about this. He was annoyed working in the orchid of his parents, and then it turned over and said it wasn't so bad. So I have hope for my children as well in that, and that will show us how it works, marketing hedges, putting them into small glasses and making taste and money. So Udo Schönthaler is the founder of Mary's Marmalades.
Well, thank you very much. I found it easy to understand you, I have to say. I'm from the same region originally. Nevertheless, we moved to Upper Bavaria. Let me welcome you very warmly and thank you very much for inviting me to come to Hamburg to the first International Hedge Congress. I can tell you something about the culinary utilization of hedge fruits. You can see the title could be Hedge can be tasty as well. Utilization. Let me introduce myself. My name is Udo Schönthaler. My wife Marianne, known as Mary for short, and I run our delicatessen Mary's MarmeLaden, which specializes in wild herbs and wild fruits. In our shop in Mittenwald in Upper Bavaria, we have our glass kitchen where we produce our products from wild herbs and fruits. And it's all done in manual labor. We started out at weekly markets in 2007, and we've been doing this full-time since 2008, so for 17 years by now. We have a shop in central Mittenwald, and we offer now over 200 different products of our own, not only from hedge fruits, of course, but they play a decisive role in our range. Over the next 15 minutes, I would like to take you on a little journey from the hedgerows of our cultural landscapes to the fruits that grow there, into jars and bottles that we should see much more of on shop shelves or at weekly markets. And I would like to show you how great the potential of these special fruits is, both for regional producers and for marketing. Imagine a cool autumn morning. A light mist hangs over the landscape, birds gather in the bushes, the first rays of sunshine warm the air, and deep red Cornell cherries, blue-black sloes, and bright red dog rose hips hang from the trees. Oh wait, hold on a second, stop. That may be the romantic image you have in your mind right now, but it has little to do with the reality of picking these fruits. Your forearms itch when harvesting the Cornell cherries, your hands freeze when picking sloes, and your blood runs in the undergrowth of the rose hips, or when harvesting the mini fruits of the common barberry, which does live up to its name. Less bloody, but also very unromantic, is picking red mountain elderberries, rowan berries, rock pears, and the small fruits of the hawthorn in overgrown blackberry bushes. But, and this is the crucial point, it's fun and worthwhile. These fruits have been part of human life for centuries. They were food in times of scarcity, medicinal plants for the medicine cabinet, and always a piece of cultural history. Today, we're rediscovering them as a basis for jams, syrups, vinegars, and liqueurs that are not only delicious, but also tell a story. But what is it that makes hedge fruits so special? The Cornell cherry, for example, bright red, rich in vitamin C and P, with a taste between sour cherry and raspberry. Hildegard from Bingen already appreciated the red pigment of the Cornell cherry for chronic stomach and digestive problems, and its soothing effect on heartburn, for instance. The sloe, tart and astringent, full of tannins. Raw, for example, it is used to treat bleeding gums. Only after frost do some of the tannins convert to sugar and develop their full aroma. With its fruity tart aroma, it is then ideal for jellies, syrups and liqueurs, which have a deep, dark color and an unmistakable fruity taste. Sloes have the property of strengthening the entire organism, supports convalescence after operations, and promises to strengthen the body in cases of fatigue or listlessness. What else do we find? The hawthorn. It bears small red fruits that are less well known in cooking, but are praised in naturopathy for their heart and circulation strengthening effects. Their aroma, reminiscent of plums, also make them a worthwhile fruit. Rosehip, remembered by many of us from childhood as itching powder, is in fact a real vitamin bomb. The local fruit with the highest vitamin C content of all. It is used to make a fruit spread that has cult status, at least in southern Germany, and is also popular in Christmas baking. Mentioned before, the common barberry with its small fruits is perhaps best known dried in muesli mixes or in Persian rice dishes, but the fresh fruit, processed into jelly or liqueur, is virtually unknown. The rock pear is extremely valuable with its deep roots. The shrub stabilizes mountain slopes and embankments against erosion and rewards us with a sweet taste reminiscent of marzipan, which is unusual for a wild fruit. I don't think there's much more to say about black elderberries and their flowers since the Hugo hype. And it's also well known that the berries have immune-boosting properties, but mountain elderberries, that you can see here, are probably a little less well known. Not edible raw, but boiled down into a jelly, they are a wonderfully fruity alternative to black elderberry jelly. And finally, rowan berry is commonly considered poisonous and rather indigestible when raw due to their parasorbic acid content, but when dried or heated, it is converted into sorbic acid, which is known as a preservative, for example, and can be used without hesitation. Better known as a spirit, it makes a great accompaniment to hearty cheese when used in tart and fruity jelly. What they all have in common is that they are strongly linked to regionality, tradition, and a love of nature. Characteristics that cannot be artificially created, but which create genuine credibility in marketing. Let's now look at consumers. Why and how is it worthwhile to market these fruits? We live in a time when three major trends are shaping the food market. Firstly, regionality. Consumers want regionally produced products and want to know where their ingredients come from. Wild fruits from Mittenwald or Hamburg Hedge fruits, this is a strong message that creates trust. In the past, people who processed pineapples or mangoes were considered exotic. Now they're considered exotic birds of paradise if they make products from fruits that grow on their own doorsteps. Second, health. Natural vitamins, secondary plant substances, immune system boosters, all this is found in local hedge fruits, the regional superfood. This appeals particularly to health-conscious customer groups. Thirdly, experience and storytelling. A jar of mountain elderberry jelly is not just another type of jam. It is a piece of history. The story goes, the fruits are picked by hand locally and are not edible raw. In the past, the seeds were used in folk medicine as an emetic. But when cooked, they make a delicious fruit spread to accompany cheese and game dishes. This turns a simple product into a little story that people like to share and take home with them. Of course, we have to be realistic. Hedge fruits are labor-intensive, they don't yield large harvests, and they're not intended for the mass market. But that's exactly why they are suitable for the premium segment. Small quantities, high quality, special products that justify higher prices. Depending on the variety, prices range from €4.99 for a jar of cherry plum to €8.99 for barberry jelly and €14 for wild rock pear. Now, what can be done with this? Fruit spreads, jellies, syrups, vinegars, liqueurs, chutneys, even salts, teas, or unripe cornell cherries pickled like local olives. There are no limits to your creativity, and a willingness to experiment is often rewarded. Target groups for the products: end consumers who value regionality over certifications, trust the product, and value contact with the producer. But also high-quality hotels and restaurants that want to stand out from the crowd and perhaps offer a regional lemonade. Let's now move on to strategies for successfully marketing hedge fruits. I will outline 5 building blocks. First, storytelling, tradition, and emotions. People want to hear stories about the product. Tell them where the hedges grow, who harvests the fruit, how it has to be processed, what old traditions and customs there may be. For many customers, this evokes memories and emotions such as, "Oh, I remember my grandmother doing that and it was the best jam in the world." Second, premium positioning. Package your products in high-quality packaging, elegant jars and bottles, clear, distinctive design, natural colors. Small quantities appear exclusive and special. The additional expense can and should be reflected in the price. Thirdly, collaborations. In addition to direct marketing, look for partners. Farm shops, restaurants, and hotels that are looking for something special. For example, a cheese farm that offers rowan berry jelly alongside its products, or a restaurant that creates an aperitif with hedge fruit syrup. If necessary, regional marketing associations such as Zugspitzregion GmbH in our region with the is a Horvath label, where regional products are centrally advertised, and events can be organized such as a regional day with market stalls and demonstrations. Fourth, experience marketing. People want more than just a product, they want an experience. Enter into partnerships with hotels or tourism associations and jointly organize hedge walks, harvest days, or jam making in open copper kettles and tastings. Very important nowadays, take customers along with via social media. Create stories and pictures of your harvests and the production of your products on Facebook or Instagram. This creates transparency, trust, customer loyalty, and emotions that can be associated with the purchased product. An online shop is certainly also part of this. Fifth, the health argument. Make use of the ingredients in the hedge fruits. But be careful, of course, no healing promises may be made. However, you can point out valuable ingredients and the long tradition of medicinal plants, perhaps even in collaboration with nutritional medicinal plant experts. Of course, there are also stumbling blocks. Harvesting is very laborious. Small fruits, thorny bushes, time-consuming processing. Many customers are not familiar with native fruits such as cornelian cherry, rock pear, or red elderberry, so education is necessary. Perseverance and passion are essential because the market for these products largely needs to be developed from scratch. It is not the market of the quick euro, but the passionate conviction of doing. And last but not least, food law, labeling, regulations, all of this must be observed properly and in accordance with the law. But those who can overcome these hurdles and are not afraid of the extra work can occupy a real niche with products made from hedge fruits, stand out from the industry's standard range, and create a reputation for being special. Ladies and gentlemen, hedge fruits are not mass-produced goods. They are a real treasure. They stand for authenticity, health, regionality, and perhaps long-forgotten traditions, values that are increasingly in demand today. The future lies in creative products, skillful marketing, and emotional storytelling. Hedge fruits are ambassadors of a landscape that we can experience with all our senses. Let us see hedgerows not only as ecological oases, but also as culinary treasure troves. If we market their fruits wisely, we can bring the diversity of our landscape directly to consumers and raise awareness among a broad audience to the ecological and culinary diversity and value of our native wild fruits. I hope that my presentation has given you a better understanding of the culinary possibilities of our hedge fruits and, if anything, has given you a new perspective on the undergrowth between fields and forest edges. The view you see here, by the way, is the view from our kitchen window. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoy developing your own ideas and concepts. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very, very much. Just stay up here, please. Wow.
Wer will das nachmachen?
Who wants to copy this? Who's inspired to copy this? A few have indicated, yes. Thank you very, very much. Now, I would like to ask all the speakers of this morning to come up. Christian Kaiser, Janus Wacken, Gerd Mörk, and Udo Schönthaler has to stay here as well. So please come up front here. I'd like to thank you all for this incredible history here. So please step forward. We have 5 minutes for questions and answers. That's unbelievable. 5 minutes to take a breather, and then we'll continue with the hedge lobby discussion. I'll start with the chat, but I saw them both. So in the chat, Markus Görlich suggested we need a national hedge day that is locally implemented. Maybe you can start with this. Can you answer what you think about? Is there an opportunity? Who could organize this? Maybe you can give us a microphone, and I'll just see who wants to answer.
Yes, I think it's a good idea. We have the walking day, 14th of May, which hasn't been established very long ago. Many people probably won't know of it. 14th of May, the day of hiking. So why shouldn't be there an autumn hedge day? I think it's a beautiful idea. The question is on how to put it up and running. That's lobby work. We've got BaumLand for that. Yes, we have experience, and I do think it does make sense based on the work that I have presented, also the knowledge, what this means internationally, what's going on in the respect to fodder leaves and so on. Create exchange and bring more hedges into the landscape, generating visibility and knowledge. So, 2026, first day has been founded, and applaud whoever is going to do the work. Markus Hildebrand today. Thank you, Katja Günther, for joining us. Thank you very much, and all the best to Schleswig-Holstein. Markus Hildebrand today from the Ecologic Hunting Association in Brandenburg. I think it's quite a big additional use of fodder leaves and hedges, because the browsing is very expensive for the hedge users and owners, and if you provide them in a sensible way, this may reduce the damage from browsing. Is there any experience of the wildlife damaging hedges, not damaging? What to do? Yes. Also, yes, we do see the animals want the hedges. First action is fencing them off. That's a way, or something that we want to do, we need to do at the moment, but I see good use. So we have lots of contacts with zoos and wildlife zoos and things like that. They don't know where to get the leaves from, because they have to feed the animals over winter, and I think we have a similar topic here, using hedges in the landscape for that. And here in the front, 2 questions. So
Na, dann hier bitte, Reihe 3 und 4, die beiden. Alle, die was wollten, bitte die
So,
Hände heben.
everybody, if you want to speak, raise your hands. Alexander Veres, Heckenretter. Too many questions. One to Heckenretter. Yesterday we heard hedges have to be rejuvenated. What do you do to do that? And the jams, how do you do that, picking the berries out in the wild? Well, the question on the hedges and rejuvenations, we have two approaches to do. One is we have natural conservatories where we have these meadows. We have programs cutting them right to the bottom, a third of each hedge for 100 meters, for example, every 10 years, so that we have opportunity for the animals to stay where they are. We don't cut the whole hedge at once. That's one thing. And where we don't have this, we have protected biotopes. It is difficult to find people to really trim their own hedges and cut them back. And yesterday we've heard about this, and we've heard about the low hedges yesterday, and we have the problem. They are turning into wood, so they should be really cut down to the stump. So that's, of course, underpinning that. Collecting wild plants, how important is that? Well, it's important that you speak to the owners. We have no own country. We have no own land. So we collect from elsewhere, and these parts belong to people. And it's important really to talk to the landowners to get a permission and talk to them, telling them what you want to do. But it's important, and this is what we do. We do not do any devastation when we harvest. We do that very in harmony with the nature. It's best to see that we haven't been there. We walk long distances to collect the quantities that we want to produce, and not just completely harvest one area and there's nothing left over. So this is very important, to talk to the people who are responsible. Great story. We share the harvest with the birds. Often the birds win, actually. Well, they deserve it. It's dear enough to them. One important partner could be slow food. Slow food has exactly this approach. Eat what you want to save. The arc of that. We had a wild herb guided tour with slow food together with the Hotel Gansbach, which we've just seen on the pictures. And from the hotel, we took a 3-hour hike around with food on that, slow food eating later on. Okay, we'll do that in Höxter as well. That's where that suggestion came from. That's Kräuterburger Wald, and Hamburg, Schleswig-Holstein may join. Contact Slow Food as new partners. The microphone is in the back. So a question from there. Hanna Lemke, Tüd Institute. I would like to talk about the legal use of wild plants. Ask for that. You have that from the owner's point of view. So is it conserved, natural conservation elements? And do you need a permission from the authorities? Or is that the manual picking rule? So you said you only pick little. Or is it agroforestry hedges? Well, we have to know we are a very small company consisting of me and my wife. We are the two of us only. And of course, we can't get into the big market. We're never going to have hundreds of thousands of glasses or bottles. Very important is that where we work and we have no farming, really. It is just hay economy, and It's biodiverse meadows, as you may imagine, and the fruits grow completely wild. Nothing was planted at any time, and so this is the small yield regulation. So we do not have any legal problems. And this is also the point. I rather see it as an opportunity to market this as small things, because here, at least, it's only a small part of the countryside. We live in the mountainside, going up steeply. We don't have so many hedges. We have to walk long distances to find blackthorns, so they don't grow in big numbers here. So this big quantity is not an issue. So I heard the Vogelnest team possibly coming back. So if there's no urgent questions, I would rather leave this beautiful round full of results. A great applause for the vision that with connectivity to your home turf, taking tours, taking photos, making marmalades, or feeding your livestock is something that can really give you a way and help to conserve nature. I'm very optimistic after this round. A great applause for you, and I give the stage to Leon. What do we have? Giving something to Udo Schönthaler. Well, we have to see whether he accepts the present. Still, two things that I would like much. It is salt and hip roses made by the hip rose salt from the hedge rescuers, and enjoy.
Herr Kaiser.
Mr. Kaiser, Janus, Mr. Mocker, Mr. Schönthaler, thank you very, very much for this round. We wanted to take the first names anyway. So we have a 5-minute break now. Everybody has to open the windows, get some air, except from the people from Brandenburg. Maria Bach is here somewhere. Brandenburg doesn't have many hedges. She wants to meet up with everybody from Brandenburg. Could she just wave out? She's here in the back wearing black. So she's waving again. So everybody who's from Brandenburg, please join her. She wants to network the hedges. So people are moving. Good 5 minutes break. And the hedge lobby in 5 minutes. Please be back on time. Okay, thank you.